You know, Plastic Man has always been my favorite DC hero, so whenever DC announced that they were making a black label featuring the death of Plastic Man, the first question on my mind was, how the fuck are they gonna pull that off? Plastic Man is one of the most powerful members of the Justice League, and he's essentially immortal, so let's see how DC plans to kill him off in Book 1 of Plastic Man No More. Book 1 starts in the past, and we see Plastic Man and his partner staking out this jewelry store they're planning to rob. Just before they go inside, Plastic Man tells his partner that there's a special watch inside, one with a solar system made of gemstones that he wants to steal for his girl. The two men are then going to break into the store, making a really big scene, and the clerk behind the counter is going to press an alarm, giving Plastic Man just 3 minutes to get everything they need and get out. While his partner is pulling out gemstones by the fistful, Plastic Man is going to be desperately looking around for the watch, but he can't find it. Unable to find the watch, Plastic Man is going to get extremely angry, and he's just going to start smashing everything around the jewelry store trying to find this watch. But the two men are going to spend too much time inside, and this is going to give the cops enough time to arrive and arrest Plastic Man and his partner. The issue then shows us that Plastic Man was a criminal for years after this, but it was this criminal life that led to Plastic Man getting his powers. And after Plastic Man got his powers, he turned his life around and became a hero and a father. We then cut to 20 years later, and we see the Justice League trying to take down Solaris and his brand new Death Ray. Solaris is going to aim the Death Ray at a group of orphans, but Plastic Man is going to use his body to shield them. And Plastic Man is going to take the full force of the Death Ray, and according to Hawkman, this smell is unbearable. It smells like somebody's stewing hot dogs with burning tires. Now, Plastic Man taking the full force of the Death Ray is going to give Hawkman enough time to finally take out Solaris, but we can see Plastic Man is going to say that the beam is actually hurting him. Green Lantern is going to put Solaris in a makeshift cell, and Superman is going to try to say, well, good job everybody, well done. And to this, Plastic Man is going to say, no kidding, well done, I actually prefer myself medium rare, and everybody in the Justice League is going to start laughing at this. Plastic Man is going to continue to make jokes, and the Justice League is going to continue to laugh at him, but in reality, we can see Plastic Man is in a tremendous amount of pain. Plastic Man is then going to head back to his apartment, and he's going to be basically making fun of the Justice League the entire time. He says that Hal needs to be some kind of green god, which Superman doesn't like because he's supposed to be the god of the team. Barry is nothing but a jock, and Arthur smells like the worst section at the grocery store. The only person that Plastic Man couldn't insult was Batman. As Plastic Man is going through his apartment, we can also see that he's alone and he's kind of sad. He's living a very depressed life at the moment. He has no new messages on his answering machine. The only mail that he has is bills. He has no food in his fridge, and his apartment is a mess. Plastic Man, despite how he appears when he's with the Justice League, is an extremely sad person. Plastic Man is then going to head to his bedroom, and we can see that he's having a lot of trouble keeping his body together. The Death Ray has affected him in a way that no other weapon has before. And as Plastic Man sleeps, his body is going to continue to break down. Through the night, we see that Plastic Man's body has begun to liquefy, and it's slowly starting to make its way into his shower drain. His hand is going to completely fall off, and he's going to do everything in his power to try to reform a new hand, but he can't control his body at the moment. Plastic Man is then going to get a trash bag, and he's going to use this to try to catch all of the pieces that are falling off of his arm. The next day at the Justice League headquarters, Plastic Man is going to try to tell the Justice League about what's going on with his body, but because the League knows Plastic Man is essentially immortal and able to take any hit without any damage, they're going to think that he's just playing a prank on them. The entire League is just going to start laughing at Plastic Man, and they're going to completely brush him off and go back to business as usual. Plastic Man is then going to leave, but Bobo is going to call after him saying, Patrick, I'm so sorry to hear about your hand. It sounds serious. And to this, Plastic Man just says, you wouldn't know it from the way that they were laughing in there. Bobo is going to tell Plastic Man that he knows exactly what he's going through because nobody really takes him very seriously either. Bobo is going to tell Plastic Man that he did manage to get Batman's attention, and Batman actually has an idea. Instead of Patrick going to see a doctor, he needs to go see a petroleum chemist. Plastic Man needs to see a chemist because of the unique way that his body is made up, something to do with oil and plastics according to Bobo, so Patrick is going to agree to go talk to the chemist. The issue then cuts to the office of Dr. Vera, petroleum chemist, and she's going to tell Plastic Man that basically he's dying. Dr. Vera tells Plastic Man that because of his unique physiology, this is essentially just his natural death being accelerated. Dr. Vera says that all this is the end result of the accident that gave him his powers. He was supposed to die in that vat full of chemicals. His death was just prolonged because of his unique physiology. Now, hearing this, at first, Plastic Man is going to be in denial, and he's just going to keep laughing it off, saying, oh, okay, cool, I guess I'm dying, and he's going to think that Dr. Vera is just playing a prank on him. But eventually the reality sets in, and Plastic Man realizes that he actually is dying, and all he can do is just stare out the window and say, hilarious. We then see Plastic Man at home, and he's going to be emptying the contents of the trash bag into this pail, and he says that he just doesn't feel right throwing any bits of himself away. As Patrick is emptying the trash bag, he's going to be thinking about his ex-girlfriend and how he never treated her right. He was never there for her. Even after the baby was born, he was always really distant and busy with the Justice League. And as Patrick is recalling all of these memories, he's going to be calling himself a freak, a loser, an asshole, a failure, showing us that even though Patrick is a hero now, he still looks at himself in an extremely negative light. As Patrick is sitting here remembering all of this, he's going to be thinking about his son, Luke, and he's going to realize that his son has the same kind of body that he does. This death could be in Luke's future. The issue then cuts to this random alley, and we see the hand that came off of Plastic Man in the beginning of the story has now taken on new life and is just walking around the streets. We then see that Patrick has decided to meet with his son at this random diner. Patrick is going to try to make up with his son at first, but it's not going to work, so Patrick is just going to get right down to business, and he's going to tell his son that he's dying. Luke is going to be in denial about this at first, and he's going to basically refuse to accept the fact that his father is dying and he might be sharing the same fate. And Luke is going to end up walking away, and all he's going to tell Patrick is, don't tell Mom. The issue then cuts to Dr. Vera's apartment, and we see Plastic Man knocking on her window. Patrick is going to ask her if there's anything that can be done to reverse what's happening to him, but he's not asking for himself, he's asking for Luke. Dr. Vera is going to explain that the only thing that has a chance of rebonding his molecules together is a very powerful nuclear blast. Dr. Vera is going to try to explain to Plastic Man that the kind of nuclear blast they need is going to be so powerful that it's more likely just going to disintegrate Plastic Man and Luke. It's not really going to save either one of them. Now, there is a very small chance that the nuclear blast will just rebond their molecules, but it's, like I said, it's an extremely small chance. But Plastic Man is not going to be hearing any of this. He's not going to heed her warnings, and all he's going to say is, so you're saying I got to build a huge nuclear bomb. Okay, sounds good. Let's do that. And that was book 1 of Plastic Man No More. So far, an amazing story. It's really cool to see like the less humorous, more real side of Plastic Man, and the way they decided to handle his death with all of his molecules basically just degrading and breaking apart is extremely clever. But let me know in the comments, what do y'all think about book 1 of Plastic Man No More? And if you like this video, follow if you want to see more.